G'day, this is Adelaide Old Fart. Today we've got a commemoration ride for Max Richardson, who opened Yamaha Retro Spares some years ago, and is now one of Adelaide's top Royal Enfield dealers. Unfortunately, he died earlier this year, so this is a ride in his memory. And unfortunately we're losing the shop. Quite a range of bikes. We've got the Interceptor, it's a Continental GT. Oh cripes, even a Triumph Bonneville. A big BMW Cafe Racer. A Can-Am Spider. So it's not all Royal Enfields. Believe it or not, the big Spinelli 500 was sold here. It's an old girl, that one, the classic 350, not one of the modern ones. But this one might actually be a new one. And the Interceptor. More Interceptors, all shapes and sizes. Himalayan. Here's my own 500. Oh, I'll get a good shot of it being mine, let's be rude. Himalayan all set up for a trip up going out up the Adelaide track. A military style 500. Another Himalayan. Oh no, a Yamaha.
There's people behind you that are trying to catch up to you even. So it's it's like you just have to look behind you like, oh, I've lost everyone. You know?
And this is one of the other bikes that's going up the Adelaide track. This one's a 500.
Well, thanks for coming everybody this morning. It's really good to see so many of you here. I was sort of expecting about this many. It's sort of it's a good group, but it's good to have all our friends, our customers, and all those who knew Max here today. Just before I talk a bit about Max, just to let you know that the shop will be closing mid-December. We'll probably begin to shut the doors around the start of December. The workshop will probably be finishing most things by the end of
This month.
Dion will still be around. Yeah, unfortunately, with what's happened, and Michelle has decided that she was looking to retire anyway. She didn't want to. Now, what happens to it, I'm not 100% sure. There are a couple of people sort of interested. We've got some discussions with you and I next week here in Adelaide, and we'll see what they say. They might have some way forward with all that.
But the retro side will be gone from here.
So that'll go, the Royal Enfield stuff may stay. And it is a good location, it's pretty room after that, it makes sense to people as a shop front workshop. Anyway, that's decided to share after being on this site for probably 8 years.
I think it's about 10, maybe 12.
And we did have plans to expand, and we were going to do a whole lot of stuff out here before Max passed. Unfortunately, so if we were still here, this would look quite different now because we have some plans to open up the front showroom and expand the back into doing. But anyway, but we're here today to remember Max, and I'll just give you my sort of personal experience of him, and Dion will talk a bit about him. If anybody else wants to share some experiences, that would be good as well. So, how I come to meet him, back in, I think around 2008, I bought a motorcycle on eBay, and I was sight unseen, thinking, it's such a bargain, I'll just get a bargain for a while. But anyway, I soon found out that it needed a lot of work, and parts. I think the first stop I went to was Commemorating or something like that. And they said to me, old retro bikes, you need to go and see Yamaha Retro Spares, go and see Max. And so I said, okay, I've got a list of bits and pieces. So that was when they were across the road over that side. And so I wandered down with my list of bits and things and what I needed to do. And I think at that stage he had a XS 1100, like a 78 model, all restored. Remember that bike he did? Beautiful bike. And that sort of enthused me. I soon found out that restoring a bike can be a costly experience. And some parts are just hard to get. Yeah. And you buy some stuff from overseas, they come in and they're wrong or they're not right. So anyway, but Max was great. He spent some time with me. Just sort of, I was just surprised at how engaging he was and how he spent time. For somebody like me who knew nothing about it. But because I was interested, he had time. So, from there, I bought another XS 1100. Crazy. I've since sold both of them, thankfully. But, you spend a lot of money on a retro bike, I'm going to have to spend a lot more. I think I'll sort of sell it. So. But anyway, I used to drop in occasionally with that bike and other things. And then when Max and Dion and the business moved across the road, I think I helped you for a day or two, move the parts. I don't know if you remember all the parts I used to have.
And then he gave up.
And I was glad to get out of that because it was hell. But anyway, they got it all upstairs. They've all been sold now, so we moved over here, and I sort of kept the relationship going. And I did take, and Max was always interested in scooters and things like that. So at the time I was working as a product manager, I was importing products from China and stuff like that. So I took him to China with me a couple of times to one of the big sort of product fairs, and there's a motorcycle section there. So he went along to that with me a couple of times. So we had a couple of overseas trips together. So sort of, our friendship and that grew and everything. And then when I was made redundant from my last job back in 2019, Max was looking for somebody, and I was fortunate enough to sort of this is what I've been for the last couple of years all the time. So I'll be sorry to see it all close because I've really enjoyed that time. I've enjoyed meeting all of you as well. We've got some great customers. The motorcycle community is a really good community, and there's a lot of friendships that go on there, and we get together a lot. So I'll try and still keep engaged with everybody online and that. So there's all these forums and stuff like that, Facebook. But just on Max, I have to say, and it's a shame that Michelle and her family couldn't be here. Michelle still finds it very painful to sort of talk about him and engage and that sort of thing. She becomes emotional quite quickly, which I understand because they were sort of joined at the hip really. Like they depended so much on him. And he made the really inappropriate comments to it. And I thought, man, I shouldn't be here. And then he'd go a bit further and I'd say, Max, just go and get a room. But they were like two kids. They really were. And, they had a really deep love and affection for each other. And I can understand how Michelle's doing so different. But, Max, we all know Max. Brian. He is one of those sort of characters that you meet in life. You don't meet too many people like him. He's just full of energy, full of life. He's got great stories, and he's enthusiastic. And he had time for you. I mean, each one of you, he spent time. Can you remember any time he hasn't had time for you? No, not at all. So we'd be working out in front, Leslie and I, and Max would sort of take somebody else back. And 45, 50 minutes later, they'd wander out again. We've just been talking about all sorts of stuff all the time. But he had heaps of time for people. He was incredibly generous with his time. Once you had his trust and his friendship, that was good. He was pretty quick at spotting a bullshitter. And somebody was pulling his chain. And they were the only people who stood out in that time. But, extremely generous. Fun. He didn't take himself too seriously. This out of him, which we did all the time.
Yep.
And he sort of took it, so it was great. But as I said, once he had I had his trust, so when I wanted to do something, he said, just go and get it, trust you. And that's the sort of guy I was, That's sort of but he's sadly missed. What happened to him earlier this year shouldn't happen to anybody. And you just can't understand something like that. And it's had a deep impact not only on us here at the business, but his whole family and friends, etc. There is a trial coming up next month. The guy who assaulted him has been charged with murder now. So you might see that on the news coming up in November. And that's going to be a tough time too for Michelle and the family because they'll have to actually go around to so we sort of all here today just to give thanks for his life because he did have a tough life. Those at the funeral heard about his upbringing and what he went through and things like that. And he did. He went through a school of hard knocks. He came from nothing a couple of times and built himself up. Like he came from nothing and built a business up.
And when it failed, he would try again.
And then try again. So he had a lot of determination and a lot of energy for what he did. You have to admire for a guy of 70 years old. He was one of a kind.
And he wanted to give a lot back from his own experiences. He wanted to give a lot back to others.
Yeah. And he did. Like he helped out family, friends. He was very generous with money. He was a special guy, and really, he's deeply missed. When I heard that he passed away, I just burst into tears. I just couldn't believe it. And when he was assaulted, I thought, he's so tough, he'd get through this. He'd get through this, but he didn't. And it just sort of shattered my hopes. But they're my memories of Max. With his passing goes a whole lot of knowledge that Dion's got a lot of it now. Max passed a lot on to Dion. That's a great thing, and you've all got your memories of it as well. Dion's going to say a few words now. If anybody else wants to sort of just say something about always been good, that'd be good too. So I'll just hand over to you.
I don't really have any words to explain who Max really was, other than the same as what Justin said. He gave his time to pretty much everyone. If you were honest with him, he would have all the time in the world. And when I was 8, that's when I met him. When I was 12, I ran away from home from family circumstances. I went through the foster system. The school couldn't handle me, the foster parents couldn't handle me. Max put his hand up and decided he would take me in. And if it wasn't for him, I'd hate to think where I'd be right now. I'm actually glad that he's put his hand up because I can only say look where I am now. So, pretty special man. There's really nothing else I can say to make it any different, any more deep and meaningful, really. So, that's the enjoy the life.
If anybody else wants to share anything, now's the time, but you don't have to. You're up to for all those people who sought sponsor him, he'd go out of his way, spend time on the internet chasing stuff down for people. It probably wasn't the most profitable sort of pursuit.
It wasn't.
Because he not only sort of goes searching, he'd buy one, he'd say, I might get another one of those, so he'd buy another one. So, we've got a lot of parts out the back that he bought two of, just in case. So it was very much a just in case sort of thing. So,
I'd just like to say a couple of things. I had it at gone through job retreats and so forth. And I decided that maybe motorbikes was something I could get back into after 40 years. So I came down here and I'd seen the Enfield set was online, and I thought, oh, I love that old style. So I came down here, met Max, and chatted for more time than it would take a normal salesman to close the deal, but we had a long chat. And he said, if that's the bike you want, that's yours. Come on, put your sticker on it. So he gave me a solid sticker. I'm going to put on the headlight. And he said, you're going to be waiting, that bike will be here. Anytime you want to come down and sit on it, we're here. When you're ready to buy it, that's your bike. And I had some finances to sort out. When I came back down, it was still there, still in the same spot. I said, yeah, it's your bike, it's all ready, there's your helmet, there's your jacket, there's all the gear you're going to need. I'll give you a deal on the whole lot, and there's your bike. And I came back probably for the first service. I remember it was pissing down with rain. I go down here and I was drenched. And he said, oh, mate, I feel sorry for you. I said, no, I don't. Just bring me your bike. I don't feel sorry for anybody. Here's a coffee, sit down and we'll fix your bike for you. So, yeah.
Yeah. And he was the type of person you could have a lot of banter with. Yeah. And he'd take it on the chin, plus he would dish it out twice as good. One of the things he used to always say that he was Superman, he was the man of steel. And eventually I got so tired of hearing the same thing over and over again, and I say, well, I'm better than that, I'm stainless steel. And then he'd go, oh, but you're brittle. Oh, no,
But not too many places that you'd get the owner go out, somebody to roll up on their bike and they'd have an issue. He'd go at the front and he'd talk to them about it. And 9 times out of 10, he'd probably fix it there and then for them and stuff like that. So, how many motorcycle shops do that? So that, I think that's the thing that Adelaide will miss. That sort of personal sort of touch that we sort of prided ourselves in. We did have some unhappy customers from time to time. That naturally happens, but a lot of that just comes from misunderstanding. But I think generally 99.9% of our customers were pretty happy with what they got. And the charges that we sort of charge people were pretty reasonable. So but we just, on behalf of Dion and myself, Rosalie and the rest of the team, and just thanks for your service over the years and your custom. It's been great. And I'm sure if Max was here now, he'd be pretty happy and pretty glad to see you all here. And there's many more lives that he's touched over the years. Anyway, today we're going to go on the ride.
I apologise for all the traffic noise in the background. My camera picks up far too much noise, and my editing skills weren't up to getting rid of it. But off on the right. Looks almost like I'm tailing Charlie. Heading up Regency Road, we'll turn left onto South Road, along the Northern Expressway, which will turn off, and then up along the Salisbury Highway, out towards the hills. On our left is the old Holden factory where they used to make Holden cars. That's closed some years ago now. There's about 50 different businesses in there. Main North Road, about to turn onto Blacktop Road, which will take us up into the hills. Just heading out of Kersbrook. Get the name of the town we're going to next, but we're going to head up Hill Road, which I haven't been along yet, but I've looked at often enough. And this would be it. So we're on Hill Road, out in farming country, beautiful country actually. Boys are stretched out in front of me and stretched out behind me. There they are in front. If I look at the mirror, there they are behind. Probably didn't get too good a shot. That mirror's been bumped. Here we go. See a couple of ring-ins. And we're coming up to one of the reservoirs, Warren Reservoir. Here's the group strung out in front. And there's the group strung out behind. Was parked there last week. There we go. Part of Adelaide's water supply, but it's also open to recreational fishing. Canoes only, or on the bank. You get redfin, carp, callop. Possible to keep the carp out and they come through with the pipes because it's supplied from the Murray River. The water's very high. The river's quite high at the moment too, with all the rain they've had in the eastern states coming down the Murray-Darling system. When I say the river, I mean the Murray River, which is pretty standard Australian shorthand for the Murray. Sort of Australian version of the Thames, the Rhine, that big thing through the middle of America, I can't remember the name of, Amazon. Mississippi River, that's the one I was trying to think of. Natural scrub. This is a recreation reserve or conservation park. Salvation Jane, also known as Patterson's Curse. It's a bit toxic for sheep, but during a huge drought 100 years ago, that was all the sheep had, so it actually saved a few flocks, which is why the mixed naming, mixed reputation. And Williamstown. Yeah, this is the southern edge of the Barossa Valley, and we're going to head deeper into it. It's one of the wine towns. Right, we're in the Barossa Valley, wine growing area, wine grapes. These are some of the best wines in the world out here. Dock. And I believe this is where we're having lunch. Thanks for coming along, Max will be sorely missed. He is a huge character in Adelaide. Ewan loved his motorcycles inside out, always willing to tell you a story. So rest in peace, Max. Thank you for your time.